Hi, so I've got Sue Williams with me. And where have you come from, Sue?
I have come from Germany. I work in a house of prayer in Herrnhut, which has a famous revival history.
Tell us.
About the revival history? Wow, long story. But yeah, in short, in the 1700s, a group of refugees who were escaping persecution came over the border from what was Moravia, so Czech Republic area, into Germany looking for somewhere to settle and live out their faith. They came across the land of Count Zinzendorf, who was a man who was passionate about Jesus, a nobleman who owned this land, and they had permission to settle on this land. So they created a community that right from the very roots was dedicated to the Lord. It's called Herrnhut, and that means, the German means under the watch. It means the watch. So the meaning of the place is under the watch of the Lord, but also to be on the watch of the Lord. So it has the double meaning. And this place became a powerhouse of prayer and of missions over those years. There's a whole lot more to the story, but people know it as a place where there was 100 years of 24/7 prayer going on constantly, and that also many missionaries were sent out from that place into the world. So that's Herrnhut. Go and read about it, because there's so much more to the story.
Okay, brilliant. So that's a snapshot. And so we got connected November last year, November 2019. And why did you want to get connected to Transform Work UK?
Well, the story goes back to the beginning of the summer in 2019. By quite some miraculous circumstances, I ended up at a 3-week symposium. It was called the Global Leadership Symposium, which was organized by a group of Christians who are looking to find leaders in marketplace areas. So whether it's government or business or arts, they were looking for people of influence, people who love the Lord, and they wanted to train them basically and speak life over them to see them living out their faith in the workplace and influencing those mountains, influencing the workplace. So I went along to this thing and wondered what it had to do with me, because I've been working in a house of prayer in this small place in Germany for many years, not really in the marketplace, so to say. The only mountain I'm really in is the mountain of the church. And so I was like, what does this have to do with me? But I went along because the doors had opened, and they did some amazing teaching on this symposium, and they particularly focused on the life of Daniel, and how Daniel had 3 things that made him a powerhouse for the kingdom. And that was, firstly, he understood the language of God. So he knew how to hear the voice of God. He also knew about dreams and visions and how to interpret them. So he was regularly hearing the voice of the Lord through dreams and things. And he could also interpret dreams. The second thing was that he lived a life that was consecrated to the Lord. So he lived a life of intimacy with the Lord. He didn't compromise. As you look in the Bible, he didn't compromise on his faith. He was a light where he was. And then thirdly, he understood the mountain he was in, so to say. So he understood the context, the governmental context, the royal context that he was in. And so he had those 3 things going for him that meant he could really influence that context, that arena. And so this symposium was training people in those 3 things. So understanding the language of God, being set apart for the Lord, and understanding the context you're in, and to take it for the kingdom, so to say. And it was amazing to me. I was like, well, this is really great that this is happening. But I was like, what does this have to do with me? And I began to see that the amazing link between ministries such as houses of prayer, who carry this intercessory burden to see God's kingdom come on the earth and in the nations, and then these people who are placed in these marketplace areas, in these mountains, and how we can work together to see prayer become this furnace beneath those who are working on the ground in the marketplace. And I wanted our house of prayer to be a resource for people to come and learn about those first 2 principles, because that's what we carry. We carry we are a place that's an altar before the Lord. So intimacy with God is one of the things we're training people in, and also to hear the voice of the Lord. So I was like, wouldn't it be amazing if we can get people in the marketplace to come to our house of prayer and learn about understanding the language of God, learn about being set apart for the Lord, and then thrust them back out into their marketplace arenas. But also I could see that we could have a link and an influence in standing alongside those who are in the marketplace and really praying for them as intercessors, praying for the real life things that they face, the real prayer points that they have, and be able to stand alongside them and be a support, be a kingdom support in those areas. So did that, was amazing. And then from that, various connections have come up around the world, and one of them is with Ross from Transform Work UK. And so I'm still on that journey to see how the Lord wants to use our house of prayer in connection with the workplaces in the UK, and we'll see what happens.
Super. Thanks for sharing with us.
Welcome.